Hello everyone, and welcome to the Trending in My Life podcast, episode 31. Wow, 31. I can't believe that I've done 30 other podcasts before this. The time really has flown by, and I've enjoyed every minute of my YouTube journey. Anyway, what's it about this week, you ask? Well, this week we're coming into the last week of January. So I've been baking away my blues, and it's time to start looking forward. Time to start thinking there'll be sunny days and better weather, and gradually we'll sneak on into spring and things will look brighter and the world will start to change and bloom again. So, putting on my positive head, I'm thinking about ways that I could make life better during February. The end of January, the start of February, what kind of transition can that be? Well, I had an idea this week that I decided I'm just not being very spontaneous, which is one of those things we get into in January because, we're staying home more, we're in really ingrained routines where you come home and do this, that and the other, you get up the next day and you're off to work and you come home again, and weekends you don't go that far because the weather's not good, and you just get stuck in a rut. So I've decided that in the coming weeks I'm going to be spontaneous. I'm going to do things on the spur of the moment. And I was thinking about this today when I walked to, it's about 40 minutes, and it's a supermarket that I have to go to if I want some little snack bags. Now, I know this sounds strange, but they do these little plastic snack bags with a pressed top to them, and they're just the right size for so many things, like if you want to take a few nuts with you in your lunch, or even for like 3 slices of cucumber I've put in there before to take for lunch. But they're just small enough that they fit into my lunch box just right, and when I get them out they can go in my coat pocket and I can eat something as I go along. So yeah, they come in packs of, I think there's 50 in a pack, so I don't have to get them very often, but there's only one place that I know that sells them. So I went on this walk, and today was actually sunny, and it was one of those days where it's not really cold, but it's definitely not warm. So provided you're all bundled up, you're okay when you're walking. I could take my gloves off for a little bit without feeling like, oh no, it's freezing, put them back on, kind of thing. Anyway, when I got to that supermarket, I went to get the snack bags, and whilst I was looking around, I saw some things in the frozen section, and they were different kinds of bite-sized things, like spinach and carrot bites, and I forget what the other one was that I bought, but I bought 2 bags of bites, and I thought, look at me, I'm being spontaneous, I'm seeing something and then thinking, oh, I'll try that, I'll have something different. And it was because I'm sure it was because on the way there I was thinking about using spontaneity for this podcast, and it was clearly already influencing me. And I only intended to walk one way. But then when I came out, there's a train station right next to the supermarket, and I thought, no, I should walk back, because then I've got my steps in for the day. Because when I'm editing at the weekend, I spend a lot of time sat down, and I do enjoy it, but in the week, as you know, I do quite a lot of walking, so my steps really go down from like 15,000 a day down to about 3,000. So I thought, no, it will do you good to sneak some of those extra steps in, and I'd done 10,000 by the time I got back, so that was good. That managed to get my steps in today, so that was really good. But yeah, I'm going to try and be spontaneous, and maybe you'd like to try and join me. Think of, well, I'm going to say think of things you could be spontaneous about, but no, you can't do that. Because if you did, it wouldn't be spontaneous. It would be planned, it would be thought out. And that's the thing, you have to do it on the spur of the moment. Because I've thought about how I can do it during the week, and I thought, well, I need to leave work but not come home, go somewhere else, and just decide on the spur of the moment. Go get off the train at a different train station. I mean, I travel through central London, so I can get off any part of central London and go somewhere and do something or see something before I come home, instead of just travelling through central London and coming home. Equally, I could travel as if I was going home, but carry on through the stations and go to one further away if there was something that was going on there to see. But like I say, I can't plan that, because if I planned that, then it wouldn't be spontaneous. So yeah, and I'd say it takes a lot of thinking, but it doesn't. You can't think. You can't think. You've just got to do. And sometimes I think that's quite good for us. Gets us out of a rut, gets us out of routine. We see things and do things we wouldn't normally do. And so I'm kind of looking forward to the coming weeks and testing this out. Of course, if I come out of work and it's chucking it down with rain, then I'm coming straight home. So, because I don't want to be spontaneous and soaking wet. But yeah, January has been a difficult month to get through for everybody, I think, because it's one of those months where you're feeling down and blue and stuff. And I haven't really moved much from the house on weekends and evenings. I've been in, and it is the kind of weather that makes you feel like that, that you want to stay in. But for me, I've been baking away the blues and cooking in the evenings, and that's kept me happy and seen me through this January time. So yeah, I mean, even if I came home, I could go to the supermarket and just buy random ingredients to cook and put them together. So that would be spontaneous. I do like doing that. I do like just inventing different recipes and just trying things out. And sometimes it's trying a food that you don't normally eat, or putting it in combinations with something else. And that's always interesting, to try out different flavours. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite fun being spontaneous. So I have no idea. I can't tell you what's going to happen. And if you try this yourself, you won't know what's going to happen, because you're going to be spontaneous. So yeah, it's a fun one, I think, after really clinging to our routines in January, because they sort of see you through the dark days. I've already started to notice, actually, that the evenings are starting to be they're starting to be lighter for longer, and in the morning I don't notice so much, because I go out very early. It's always dark when I go out, and I don't think I will have light when I go out, that the sun's up and stuff, until probably Easter. Because I mean, I'm leaving home about 5:30, and sunrise is about 7 o'clock in the morning. So there's quite a big gap there. So I did think about maybe going shopping and being spontaneous, and saying, okay, I can spend. See, the trouble is, that's planning, isn't it? I can spend £10 spontaneously. No, that doesn't work, because you've just got to spontaneously see something and say, love that, I'll get it. don't worry, I won't be in anywhere like Harrods. No way can I afford their prices. But yeah, that's something to think about. If you were doing something that you regularly do, but take a detour into a shop that you've never been in before and see if something catches your eye. I mean, there's lots of shops that I've never been in, and I think it's because you tend to stick to what you like and what you know. I wouldn't walk into a very expensive shop because I know I couldn't afford things, and heaven forbid I should see something I really, really like and can't afford it. That would be bad. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, think of ways that you can be spontaneous in your life. And it may be something simple like you're bored, you're sat inside and you've been doing something. Maybe you've been reading a book or you've been doing something on the internet, and then you suddenly think, oh, I'm bored of this, and feeling restless and achy, and just grab your coat and go out. Just go out for a walk or get on a bus and just ride the bus for a bit. And that game that I did a video about, bus change, that was a very spontaneous thing. It's a game where you just you play by yourself or with friends, but you basically just get on a random bus and go as a random amount of stops, and then you get off and look around for anything interesting. So that is quite a spontaneous game to play, where you don't know where you're going or what you're going to see. And I do tend to get on, if I do that, I tend to pick buses that I don't regularly catch. They will always be buses that go to a different destination. And it depends where you live. I mean, we've got quite a few that go off east and west and north and south from here. So I could pick a different route. I'm usually going north to south, and south to north. So yeah, that's a fun game to play. So you can always do that. If you can't think of anything else to be spontaneous about, you can do that. But often being spontaneous sort of presents itself. It's not, I mean, as I say, you can't plan it because then it wouldn't be spontaneous. But it's quite often something that you're doing something, and you've gone somewhere and you're doing something, and you maybe see something and think, "Oh, shall I just take a few minutes and go and look at that?" Or should I go over there instead of staying here? And this is it. There's different opportunities present themselves. I mean, you might be out and someone you haven't seen for ages comes over to you and says, "Hi, oh, I'm just out for drinks with my friend. Do you want to join us?" That is a sort of on the spot, spur of the moment decision whether to go with it, and that would be a spontaneous thing to do. I think we quite often aren't aware of the opportunities that pop up in our lives, because we're in routines and we are busy with those, and we know where we're headed and we know what we're doing, and then when little things present themselves as alternatives, like, well, you could get that train, or you could go in that cafe just because you're feeling hungry, or you could do something different. One thing that I will do if I'm out for any length of time and I get hungry or thirsty, I will pop into a small supermarket and grab a drink and a sandwich or something to eat on the go. I can't remember the last time that I was hungry or thirsty and went into a cafe and sat down to eat something. So if I did that on the spur of the moment, that would certainly be spontaneous. But now I've talked about it, it probably wouldn't be, because that would be considered planning. So it gets really difficult when you talk about it. I think that's the thing. You have to just go about your business and just do it when it happens, when it presents itself, when the opportunity is there and you think, hey, I'll do that. I'll grab it. I will jump on that. I will go for it. I will just do something different for a change. And I think that will make life more fun and give you a few happy moments, if not funny moments. And and yeah, it's an opportunity to try something different, to do something different. And I think it's a good idea. I think like I said, January is a month you just have to kind of slog through and get through, and you're trying different strategies to keep you going, and then you're in February, and February is a whole new month. Please put in the comments if you did something spontaneous and what it was, because I'm really curious to know if anybody has a go at this and what you do, because it could be absolutely anything. I used to do this thing where I'd go to different parts of London looking for exotic fruits. You can buy the same fruit and veg in a lot of supermarkets, but if you want something a little bit different, then you have to travel further and find a greengrocer, that's what we used to call them, that just sell fruit and veg, that have things imported. And I'm trying to think, dragon fruit is quite difficult to come by. Some of the Asian supermarkets have them. Ramputans, I think that's what you call them. And I travelled all the way up to North London to get hold of some of those. And then when I tried them, and you take off that spiky outside, and it's like this little white grape thing inside, only bigger than a grape. And it was nice, but it definitely wasn't worth travelling all the way to North London to a certain supermarket to get it. But I was in a part of London that I'd never been to before, and after that I could say, well, yeah, I know what that's like because I travelled there. It might be that you decide to be spontaneous in the fruit and veg section and there's something you've never tried. I actually wouldn't be at all surprised if I went to a regular supermarket, just an ordinary one that has run-of-the-mill vegetables and fruit, and if I walked along in front of the display, there would be something that I've never tried before. So there's something to do if it's chucking it down with rain one of the evenings after work. I might do something like that. You walk into a place that sells food and drink, and you buy something you've never bought before, and you try it, and you may hate it or you may love it, but at least you've tried it. You've been spontaneous. So yeah, there's lots of possibilities, isn't there? I think with spontaneity, it happens wherever you are, whatever you're doing, something crops up, something catches your eye, and it has to be doing it on the spur of the moment. There can be no planning, because if there is any planning, it's not being spontaneous. But I think there is a joy to being spontaneous. There's a freedom to it. If you grab the opportunity that presents itself to try something new, to do something different, then there's a happiness to it just in doing that. Never mind what it is you're doing, just having made the decision, yeah, I'm gonna give that a go and just do it. So yeah, I hope you have a very spontaneous week, and that you're feeling less blue now we're coming out of January. I mean, focus on the fact that it's in a week, January is over. Christmas is long gone, February is just around the corner, and spring is off there in the distance, getting closer all the time. So yeah, things are looking up, things are good. So, and if you're still sticking to your New Year's resolutions, no matter what they are, then good for you. And if you've given them up, well, we're all human. These things happen, and it doesn't make you a bad person. You're awesome. Just remember that. Okay, well, I think I've rambled enough. So please comment about your spontaneity. I want to know what you've got up to. And subscribe, please. I love getting more subscribers. It's nice to grow the community of the channel. Comment, subscribe. Oh, share with a friend. Yes, if you think your friends would enjoy listening, please share my podcast with them too. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.